my God, why have you abandoned me? Why are you so far away when I groan for help? It's Thursday of Holy Week, and what a journey we've been on already. Monday, we saw the roar of Jesus' soul rise to the top as he petitioned his Father, asking the Father why he wasn't listening to his groans. Tuesday, we looked closer at what it must have felt like for Jesus to feel abandoned. Yesterday, we touched on the cry of lament, the heart of lament being asking God why without getting an answer. Now, the first 2 days of this week, I encouraged you to think about the why questions you have in your life, the deeper, painful, unanswered questions in your life. Yesterday, I pushed us out of the nest, and I said, let's just stop thinking about the why questions. Let's actually ask God these questions. Well, if you haven't yet dared to ask the why that lies buried deep in your heart, I want to warn you, this may hurt. If you have asked the why questions, perhaps you've already felt that deeper twinge of pain. Today, Thursday, is simply encouragement to hang on. Hang on. Author Mandy Hale writes this: "The stretching of your faith is immediate pain that results in ultimate gain. It is in the waiting that we become who we are meant to be." Now, I don't share this quote as an easy platitude, a happy clappy, just hang on there because it'll all get better and it'll all be worth it. No. I share it because of the reality of the immediate pain that is mentioned. As I've been thinking through this Holy Week video series, I've genuinely struggled with whether or not to take us on this journey together. I wrestled, maybe I shouldn't lead you, maybe I shouldn't lead us down this road of pain without being able to physically be available to walk with and comfort you. Maybe I shouldn't do this while we're on lockdown, on quarantine. It's as if I'm directing you down a dark, windy path and I'm not able to go with you. Or my other train of thought was maybe, since many of us are already feeling isolated and alone, this is the perfect time to tap into the emotions we wouldn't normally delve into if we had the regular distractions of life. In all reality, I know that I'm not the one who needs to walk with you down this road at all. This painful path is a walk you must take with Jesus, the one person who has been down the path to the very end and ultimately lived to tell about it. You see, Jesus lived the pain that I'm mentioning. We can vividly see this in Psalm 22, the psalm that we've been reading each day this week. Jesus lived the pain that the psalmist was crying out. Spiritually speaking, 3 times in this psalm, the author speaks of God as being far away. Verse 1, "Why are you so far away when I groan for help?" Verse 11, "Do not stay so far from me, for trouble is near." Verse 19, "O Lord, do not stay far away." This feeling of far away is what we looked at on Tuesday, the feeling of abandonment. Talk about a spiritual punch in the gut. Jesus had a direct line to the Father, but it appeared that that line was severed on the cross. Today, people talk about going through a dark night of the soul when they feel disconnected from the Father, when they feel like they're talking to an empty room while they pray. These dark nights can happen to anyone, no matter how young or old they are in the faith. I went through a 3-year dark night of the soul during seminary. Of all places, right? In the midst of studying all things theology, I felt further away from God than I had ever felt. I can't even fathom what Jesus must have felt on the cross, because his was a spiritual pain that none other has ever felt. Now, Jesus also lived the emotional pain that we see in Psalm 22. Have you ever had someone laugh at you? Make fun of you? Mock you? It hurts, doesn't it? Well, listen to the cries from the heart of the psalmist. Verse 6, "I am scorned and despised by all." Verse 7, "Everyone who sees me mocks me. They sneer and shake their heads." Verse 14, "My heart is like wax melting within me." In the gospel accounts of the crucifixion, we see the crowds spewing their venom towards Jesus as he hung there in front of them on the cross. Mark 15, verse 29, the people passing by shouted their abuse, shaking their heads in mockery. There is no doubt in my mind that Jesus felt the emotional pain that the psalmist was referring to when he wrote this psalm. Now, Jesus also felt the emotional pain, the physical pain. He was whipped by soldiers, spat on, nailed to the cross. Psalm 22, if you've been reading it this week, you've seen the description of the physical pain. Verse 14, the psalmist says, "My life is poured out like water. All my bones are out of joint." Verse 15, "My strength has dried up like sun-baked clay. My tongue sticks to the roof of my mouth." Verse 16, "They have pierced my hands and feet." Jesus felt this pain. He was fully human. So every crack of the whip, every gasp for breath, every painful movement shot torment through his body. He may have only quoted the first part of the first verse of Psalm 22, but while hanging on the cross, I gotta believe that his internal prayers extended all the way to verse 19. Psalm 22:19, "O Lord, do not stay far away. You are my strength. Come quickly to my aid." First Church, as we continue to dare to ask the why questions in our lives, knowing that oftentimes why isn't answered, be prepared for there to be pain. Pain does lead somewhere. Now, whether or not we experience that where on this side of eternity is not up to us to decide. So my encouragement today is hang in there. Keep asking why. Keep risking the pain that may occur. I trust that God is doing something in each of us this week. One of my seminary professors wrote a book called Glorious Dark, Finding Hope in the Tension of Belief and Experience. And in that book, he writes this: "The hardest time to see God working in someone's life is that very moment when God is actually working in someone's life. We often see it afterward, but in the midst of God working, it is hard to see." Friends, tomorrow is Good Friday. But do me a favor. Don't rush past today. Sit with the pain we may experience this Thursday. As Jesus said, my God, why have you abandoned me? Why are you so far away when I groan for help?"